Recording in progress.
Hi, I'm Angelina and this is the video for assignment 2. There were 4 exercises. Let's start from the first one. The first one was telling us that we have two shapes, a triangle and a rectangle. The triangle, and it was telling us to run a program in the end of which we will get either triangle has a bigger area than the rectangle or rectangle has a bigger area than the triangle. And for doing that, we must assign random values to the base of the triangle and height of the triangle and height of the rectangle and width of the rectangle. So for that, let's start by using const in order to declare a constant t height, constant named t height, which is triangle height. The constant named t height will be equal to 20. Its value will be 20. The same thing we are doing for the t base, which is triangle base. We are giving constant value. Why constant? Why we are using const? Because the value of our t height, triangle height, t base, triangle area, r height, rectangle height, r width, rectangle width will not change during the process of our program. So that's why we are using constant values. Our t base will be constant and will have the value of 30. We are also declaring a constant named triangle area, which will be equal to this value, to the value of the formula for calculating the triangle area, which is equal to t height multiplied by t base and divided by 2. So the same thing we are doing for the rectangle. We are declaring constant r height, which is rectangle height, and the constant will have the value 10. We are also declaring const r width, which is rectangle width, and it will have a value of 15. And also we are declaring constant named rectangle area, which will be equal to the formula of calculating the rectangle area, which is r height, that means rectangle height, multiplied by r width, rectangle width. So in this case, we will have 3 cases. The first case is when triangle area will be bigger than the rectangle area. If it is so, we will, by writing console log, we will tell the program to print that triangle has a bigger area than rectangle. For printing, we are using console log and we are putting the expression, our expression which we want to be printed, in parentheses. And the second case is when the rectangle area will be bigger than the triangle area. In this case, it will print rectangle has a bigger area than triangle. And the last case is when the areas will be equal. So rectangle area is equal. We are using 3 equation marks for equality is equal to triangle area. In this case, it will print that rectangle has the same area as triangle. And I have just commented here that we can use any values for the variables to test our program. Now let's try to test our program by writing node. It's the name of the file. It is telling us that triangle has a bigger area than rectangle. It is obviously true, as if we put the values here, we'll get that 300 is bigger than 150, which is obviously true and means that triangle has a bigger area than rectangle. Let's move to the second problem. We were given a quadratic polynomial. This was our polynomial, and we must have considered all the cases which are when the discriminant is equal to 0, it will have only one solution. When the discriminant is bigger than 0, it is non-negative and has 2 roots. The third case is when the discriminant is negative. That means that it has no solution. And also we must have considered the case when a is equal to 0. And when a is equal to 0, that means that this will cancel out, and we will be left with b multiplied by x plus c is equal to 0. So for that, we are again giving constant values to a, b, c. These are just random values that I have chosen. And we are also declaring a variable named discriminant, and we are telling that this discriminant is equal to the value of this, which is the formula of calculating the discriminant: b multiplied by b minus 4 multiplied by a multiplied by c. So the first case is when a is equal to 0. We have already seen that when a is equal to 0, this cancels out, and we have only one solution for x, which is x1. Our only solution is x1, and it is equal to minus c divided by b. So in this case, we are telling the program to print that our x is the only solution, is equal to the value of x1. The next case is when discriminant is equal to 0. In this case, we will have only one solution. Our x1 is the only solution, and x1 will be equal to this for the value of this formula, which is the formula for calculating the root of a quadratic polynomial. We are using math sqrt for assigning a square root of. And in this case, we are telling the program to print that our only solution, which is x, is equal to the value of x1. And from this, we know that the value of x1 is minus b plus math sqrt, square root of discriminant, divided by 2 multiplied by a. The third case is when discriminant is bigger than 0, so it is positive, and in this case we'll have two roots, x1 and x2. X1 is equal to minus b plus square root of discriminant divided by 2 multiplied by a, and x2 is the same thing, just with the minus. This is the formula for calculating roots when discriminant is bigger than 0, and it has two solutions. And in this case, we are telling the program to print that our x1, the first solution, is equal to the value of x1, and the next solution, our x2, is equal to the value of x2. And the last case is when discriminant is negative. That means it has no solutions, and we are telling the program to print unsolvable. So let's try to run our program. Not the name of the program. In this case, we got two roots. X1 is equal to this, and x2 is equal to this. Let's move to problem 3. I have combined problem 3 and problem 4 in one file, and I have solved them in two ways. The second way is by functions. So let's start. The exercise 3 was telling us that we need to calculate the length of a line, and it was giving us the starting point and the ending point, the couples x1, y1, x2, y2, and it was telling us that all the numbers are either 0 or positive, so they fall only on the first quarter of xy axis. In this case, if all the numbers are non-negative, we can take random values that are either 0 or positive. See, I have assigned constant values for x1, x2, y1, y2. And I have also declared a variable named length AB. Let's suppose that our line is AB line. And I'm telling that this variable length AB is equal to the formula for calculating the length of a line, which is square root of x1 minus x2 multiplied by x1 minus x2 plus y1 minus y2 multiplied by y1 minus y2. And I am telling the program to print the length AB. So it must print the value that we get after solving this. So let's try, let's test our program. Node problem 3gs. It is telling that the length is equal to this, which is obviously true, as if we put the values in the formula, we'll get the same thing. And the exercise 4 was telling us that the couples may fall in any of the quadrants, so they may be either negative or positive. the formula in this case is staying the same as even if we put negative numbers in this formula, the formula won't be undefined, as the formula will be only undefined if we have a negative number under our square root, but we never have negative number under our square root, as the expression under square root is always positive, as we see. Two positive numbers are added together. So we can use the same formula for calculating for the couples, both negative and positive. Let's just try to solve for negative and positive numbers. So after assigning these values, we get that length AB is equal to this. And I have also solved the problem by using functions. So for functions, we must first of all declare a function named calculate the length. This is the name of our function, and we are telling that our function is dependent on x1, y1, x2, y2. We are inside the function, we are declaring length AB and telling that this length AB is equal to the formula for calculating the length of a line. And inside the function, we are also telling it to just print the length AB. As we remember, it will print the value that we get after calculating this expression. And outside the function, we are just assigning values x1, y1, x2, y2. We are assigning random values to these variables inside the function named calculate the length. So let's try to solve this problem in the function way. Problem. It is telling us that the length is equal to 2.82, 84, etc. Thank you.